Alright, what's going on, guys? Appreciate you stopping by again. Nando here. One more video for you, but today we're going to talk about the Surface Pro 2017 version. I know this video is kind of late. Surface Pro 2017 has come out probably like 8-9 months ago. Matter of fact, this Surface Pro that came out most recently actually stopped the actual upgrade from one number to another. So Surface 1, 2, 3, 4, and instead of Surface Pro 5, this is Surface Pro, just Pro. Slight changes, mostly internal, bigger battery, better battery life, and other few little things. So the reason why I want to make this video, guys, is because recently, I don't know when you're watching this video, Microsoft had a pretty big sale. It would be the Surface Pro. Okay, here it is. So we got the Surface Pro with the keyboard for $799. $799 got you the Surface Pro, the i5 model with 8 gigs of RAM with a keyboard. Now, what makes that substantial is that the Surface Pro i5 model by itself was not $799. I think it was $999. And we already know that the keyboard is not included. That's actually one of the things that people complain about the most. So keyboard not included. So where does that leave us? That means that, so the keyboard is not included. Now the keyboard itself retails for $125. So you get a $125 keyboard included, and you get a lower price on the Surface Pro. Now, I went ahead and purchased the Surface Pen as well. That is not included. That's another $99. So with that being said, instead of spending about $1,200, I ended up spending a little over $900 in the United States. Great value. I've always been a believer of the Surface Pro lineup. I've always been a believer of what the Surface Pro is about, what the Surface Pro can do. And I went ahead and try because I had not owned one since Surface Pro 3. So that's a little disclosure, a little backstory. Why did I want to get one of these? Obviously, other than the fact that I like the hardware and I like what they're trying to do, I wanted this to be my all-in-one device. Currently, I use a MacBook Pro as my desktop laptop. If I go anywhere, it goes with me. If I'm at home, I'm using it. And more often than not, I'm not even plugged in. That's where I edit my videos. And that's that. However, recently I went ahead and purchased the Google Pixel Book. Now, what's interesting is that the Google Pixel Book has started to do a lot of what my MacBook Pro was doing other than the editing. And on top of that, I also have an iPad Pro. This is the 10.5-inch version. So I've got all these devices and I'm trying to figure out which ones are going to be better suited for my lifestyle. I wanted something that could be my all-in-ones, or at the very least, most of my all-in-one, and then maybe just use my MacBook Pro for editing. I truly gave the Surface Pro a shot, but like always, there's a certain couple things out there that it doesn't do that I'm looking for it to do, and I guess I just have to keep waiting. For one, the Surface Pro doesn't behave like a great tablet, nor does it behave like a great laptop. And I know that's something that a lot of people have talked about in the past, but it's truly true. For example, one thing that I noticed off the bat that actually kind of bugs me is the edges. Let me show you guys here. The edges on the Surface Pro are much more angular. They're not as smooth and round as the iPad Pro. What that means is when I'm actually holding the Surface Pro as a tablet, it gets quite exhausting very quickly because it digs into the palm of your hand. At least it does my hand. I don't know if that's something that you all have experienced, but that's something that really took a while to get used to, and I quite frankly didn't enjoy it. The second thing is when I'm laying in bed or I'm laying on the couch and I want to actually type something, it's quite awkward and uncomfortable to utilize the actual touch, or not the touch, but the the keyboard that you can connect, okay, the type keyboard, and type. Now I remember one of the first versions of the Surface Pro, if not the first, they talked about lapability. I think it started with the second version. And lapability works well when you are sitting on a chair or sitting on a couch. But if you're laying back and you want to place the laptop in between your like stomach and your legs, it doesn't work well. You're constantly having to stop what you're doing to readjust and things like that. So what that leads me to believe is that it's just not a comfortable experience for everyday casual usage around the home. Now, if you're going from desk to desk, desk to table, table to kitchen counter, so that's fine. It has that incredible hinge. It's going to hold its place well, and it's going to articulate extremely well, and you can really get a low angle so you can write and draw on it very well. However, if you're not on a hard surface, if you're not on a place that's going to be fixated, then it's just not a comfortable solution. And that's where either my iPad as a tablet, because that's what it is super comfortable, and that's where even a laptop like the MacBook Pro that I have, or even the Google Pixel Book, becomes more comfortable, because those hinges are fixed to the keyboard, and because it's sturdier all the way through, it's just a better experience. So those two things right there have made using the device a bit cumbersome. Now, the last bit I'm going to touch on is user experience from a software perspective. If you are new to the Surface lineup, or what Microsoft is trying to do with the Surface Pro or Surface Book, Surface Laptop, things like that, but especially the Surface Pro, they're really trying to go for a two-in-one experience. In order to achieve a good two-in-one experience, and by two-in-one I mean a good tablet or good laptop, a good tablet. I don't know if they're trying to go for 50-50, 70-30, 60-40, 80-20, 90-10. I don't know. However, they are trying to go for a hybrid combination of the two. When you're not using the keyboard connected, it becomes mostly tablet. It's quite obnoxious to lay back or use this and use legacy desktop applications. We know that Microsoft just simply does not have the software and store presence, app store presence, excuse me, that Apple has in their iPad, or Google has even now with the Pixel Book. So more often than not, you're going to find yourself having to use your Surface Pro as a normal computer, doing normal computer things, opening programs from your desktop and taskbar, so forth and so on. And that's fine, but we all know that for a lot of what we use on a day-to-day operation, I'm not talking editing, I'm not talking consuming media, but the day-to-day operation, we want quick email access, which they do have, but we want a good browser experience. We want good apps for the basic stuff, our social medias, and our entertainment. And Windows has some of that, but Windows does not have all of that. And the vast majority they don't have compared to, for example, the Pixel Book. I think at the beginning of the year, they introduced Android applications to the Pixel Book. So now you have Chrome OS with the capability of running native Android apps. Now, not all Android apps are going to be perfect on it, but the vast majority are. And the simple fact that you can run Android apps, whether they're perfect or not perfect, whether they're optimized or not optimized, is huge. Huge. And if Windows was capable of doing that, then I think that Surface Pro would be selling a lot more. So at the end of the day, when I had to decide, you know, one of these has to go, because I'm not going to have I don't have the money. And even if I had the money, quite honestly, I don't think I would even have all these devices. I'm not going to have a MacBook Pro, a Surface Pro, a Google Pixel Book, and then an iPad Pro. I don't have that much time in the day, and I don't have that much stuff that I want to do that utilizes all four. So right now, the Surface Pro's got to go. The iPad Pro stays, the MacBook Pro stays, the Pixel Book stays, and later on we'll decide what to do with the Pixel Book. So that's kind of my review for you guys from an average consumer perspective on the Microsoft Surface Pro 2017 version. If you have any comments or questions, let me know in the section below. You already know how that goes. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and then if you also want to watch my take on the Google Pixel Book, let me know. so I can bring you that as well. Like always, guys, stay geeky. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace, salutes, and